Hey guys, well, let's talk a little bit about fuel thieves. Not too long ago, this truck was in a truck stop up in Eaton, Ohio, and it had like 70, 80 gallons of fuel stolen. Yeah, you can see my Corvette there, Camaro, Avalanche, junk trailer, boat, all that good stuff. Anyway, they stole like 90 gallons of diesel fuel out of my truck. And I priced the locking fuel caps, and they're extremely expensive, and the problem is they lock right on this tab that folds over on these Peterbilts, and all you got to do is put a screwdriver in here and pry, and it breaks that lock. Well, if anybody knows me, they know that I like to think outside the box and design my own stuff and kind of over design it. So I took me a piece of flat bar stock, and I bent it, drilled a hole in it, brought it out, measured it. And then this hasp end right here is riveted and silver soldered to the arm on this fuel cap. And you got to raise this arm up and twist it to take that cap off. Well, I folded it down, riveted it, and bolted this all in. I didn't drill no holes in my frame because everybody knows if you know anything about trucking, that's illegal. I just pulled this bolt out of this fairing guard right here, and it's 5/8 bolt. Drilled me a hole, mounted that in there, and then I've got this riveted and soldered here. Threw me a lock on it, and I've got me a matching lock on the other side. And I'll show you how this works. I don't have this one over here locked. But I had to use if you look, I had to use a different style hasp. The one on the other side that went this way because it just worked better with the way that the fuel cap was cogged. And this side here, I set a crosswise one. And if you look, I mean, that's pretty darn solid. Fuel thief's not going to play with that. You just take your fuel cap off, put your fuel in, put it down, twist it, flip your hasp back over, throw your padlock back on. See, fuel thieves, they just carry hoses and siphons. They don't normally carry any kind of a pry bar or bolt cutters or anything like that, and they're going to go for an easier target. And you know, I saved myself from having to order another, order a set of locking fuel caps for $170. And I think I've got $30 in this whole thing with the strap metal. And what I did was I just drilled my hole that I needed, and I put it in my bench vise and tapped it with a hammer until I got my 90-degree angle on it. And I made my 90-degree strap and brought it out here and figured out the best position for the other end of the hasp. Drilled my holes, riveted it onto my fuel locking tab here, and just kind of brought the two together, you know, however it worked. It doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to be effective, and it has to look like it's going to be a pain in the butt for somebody to steal fuel, so they'll go for an easier target. And it might save you a few $100. Eventually, I would like to put a magnetic contact, which I've got the stuff, but I don't have time to put this on this truck today because this truck has got to roll out in the morning. But I've got a magnetic contact that I'm going to put under here, underneath this hasp. So if they do break it loose, I'm either going to put it under here or attach it here on the side. And excuse me, I've got an alarm buzzer. So if I put my alarm, my magnetic contact and my neodymium magnet on the side of this fuel cap, and then I put the alarm buzzer inside the truck, whenever they do, if somebody actually does succeed in breaking this and getting that lock off, it's going to set off an alarm inside the truck, and it'll let the driver know that somebody's out here opening fuel caps. Another good benefit of this is driving down the road, sometimes you don't get the fuel cap on right, and it'll come off, and it'll sit there and bounce around and scratch up your tank. Well, it has to go on right now, or it won't go on at all. Anyway, I hope somebody finds this helpful, and You know, maybe save somebody a few bucks on buying locking gas caps and all that for these commercial vehicles. I'm sure I could figure out a way to adapt this to like a Freightliner or something like that, but this in here, like I said, it's a Peterbilt, so it's got specialized caps on it. But the Freightliners don't have these little tabs on them. They just kind of go on and spin. And I'm sure there's a way you could drill the holes and tap them and bolt a hasp on it so that it indexes a certain way that you could put a lock on those as well. Anyway, I hope I get to save somebody a few bucks, because it really hurts whenever somebody drains one of these 130-gallon tanks. Any questions, comments, please feel free to ask. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, and subscribe. I really do appreciate that, and we'll see if we can come up with some more videos.